Hello mga Ka-Acute Angels! Welcome back for another Mathinic episode.
This is Teacher Mika.
And this is Teacher Joyme.
Today, we will learn about scientific notations. Excited na ba kayo?
Before we start, kindly prepare your self-learning module, your pen, and paper to write your solutions and answers as we progress with our discussion.
Also, look for a place in your home where you feel comfortable and safe. And most importantly, prepare yourself to watch and listen carefully.
After going through this module, you are expected to
Write numbers in scientific notations and vice versa.
Previously, you have learned how to arrange numbers in increasing and decreasing orders. Now, let us check your prior knowledge about it. Arrange the following set of numbers in increasing and decreasing orders. Letter A, we have 3, -4, 0, 6, and -2. I repeat, 3, -4, 0, 6, and -2. For letter B, we have 2.5, 0.3, -5.25, -0.7, and 1.2. I repeat, 2.5, 0.3, -5.25, -0.7, 1.2. For letter C, we have 2, 0.8, -square root of 8, -4.7, and 6 and 1/3. I repeat, 2, 0.8, -square root of 8, -4.7, and 6 and 1/3. I will give you 2 minutes to answer this activity. Now, let's check your answers. For letter A, the increasing order is -4, -2, 0, 3, and 6. For decreasing order, we have 6, 3, 0, -2, and -4. For letter B, the increasing order is -5.25, -0.7, 0.3, 1.2, and 2.5. For decreasing order, we have 2.5, 1.2, 0.3, negative 0.7, and negative 5.25. For letter C, the increasing order is negative 4.7, negative square root of 8, 0.8, 2, and 6 and 1/3. And the decreasing order is 6 and 1/3, 2, 0.8, negative square root of 8, and negative 4.7. It's just a piece of cake, right?
At this time, let us have a review about your past topic about multiplying numbers by powers of 10. Find each product. Letter A, 0.042 times 10. Letter B, 7.331 times 100. Letter C, 0.125 times 1000. Letter D, 1.031 times 0.1. And letter E, 21.5 times 0.001. I will give you 1 minute for this activity. Are you ready to check your answers? Okay, let's start with letter A. 0.042 times 10 is 0.42. Letter B. 7.331 times 100 is 733.1. Letter C. 0.125 times 1000 is 125. Letter D. 1.031 times 0.1 is 0.1031. For letter E, 21.5 times 0.001 is 0.0215. I hope this was an easy task for you because this is a prerequisite concept of our lesson for today, which is to write numbers in scientific notations. Scientific notation simplifies the way we write very large and very small numbers in a compact form. For example, kung gusto mo bilangin lahat ng cells mo sa katawan, it will really be a big number, something like 35 trillion cells. Likewise, if gusto mo i-measure ang isang cell sa katawan mo using meters, then it will really be a small number, something like 0.0000000000012 meter. In a glance, syempre di natin ito kayang bilangin, kaya dito papasok ang scientific notation. So instead, nagagamit tayo ng long sequence ng decimal digits to represent the numbers. Scientific notation uses a shorter number multiplied by a power of 10. So in a nutshell, scientific notation is composed of a number part called coefficient or letter C. Ito ay number greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10. Or in layman's term, it is any number from 1 to 9 times a number with base 10 raised to an integer power of n.
The following are common numbers written in scientific notation. Try to see if you can find some pattern. 1 millionth is in the decimal form of 0.000001 and it is in the power of 10 raised to negative 6. Its scientific notation is 1 times 10 raised to negative 6. For 1,000, its decimal form is 0.001 and in the power of 10 raised to negative 3. Its scientific notation is 1 times 10 raised to negative 3. 1/100th is in the decimal form of 0.01 and in the power of 10 raised to negative 2. Its scientific notation is 1 times 10 raised to negative 2. For 1/10, its decimal form is 0.1 and in the power of 10 raised to negative 1. Its scientific notation is 1 times 10 raised to negative 1. For 1, its decimal form is 1 and its power of 10 is 10 raised to 0 while its scientific notation is 1 times 10 raised to 0. For 10, its decimal form is 10, its power of 10 is 10 raised to 1, and its scientific notation is 1 times 10 raised to 1. 100, its decimal form is 100, and power of 10 is 10 raised to 2, while its scientific notation is 1 times 10 raised to 2. For 1,000, its decimal form is 1,000. Its power of 10 is 10 raised to 3, while its scientific notation is 1 times 10 raised to 3. 1,000,000, its decimal form is 1,000,000, its power of 10 is 10 raised to 6, and its scientific notation is 1 times 10 raised to 6. 1,000,000,000, its decimal form is 1,000,000,000, its power of 10 is 10 raised to 9, and its scientific notation is 1 times 10 raised to 9. Lastly, 1,000,000,000,000, its decimal form is 1,000,000,000,000, its power of 10 is 10 raised to 12, and its scientific notation is 1 times 10 raised to 12.
Now, let's talk about the steps in writing decimal numbers into scientific notation. Step number 1. Identify the initial location of the original decimal point. Step number 2. Identify the final location or destination of the original decimal point. The final location of the original decimal point must be directly to the right of the first non-zero number. Step number 3. Move the original decimal point to its final location. You will get a number here called C. Its value must be greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10. When the decimal is moved towards the left, the count for the exponent of base 10 should be positive. When the decimal is moved towards the right, the count for the exponent of base 10 should be negative. And step number 4, write C multiplied by some power of base 10. It should look something like this. C times 10 raised to n.
Examples of how to write decimal numbers into scientific notation for positive power. Example 1, we write the given decimal number 3,800 in scientific notation. Here's the solution. First, we start by identifying where the original location of the decimal point and its new location. Since whole number ang 3,800, ang original location ng decimal point ay nasa dulong right. Para magkaroon ng number part or coefficient na greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10, we will move the decimal point towards the left, that is between 3 and 8 to obtain 3.8. Now, we move the decimal point from the starting point to its final destination while counting the number of decimal places. Mula sa original location going to the new location, we will count 3 decimal places to the left. Remember the rule a while ago which states that if the decimal is moved towards the left, the count for the exponent of base 10 is positive. That makes our value of C as C is equal to 3.8 and the power of 10 is 3. Putting them together in the required format, our final answer is 3.8 times 10 raised to 3. Always remember to make sure that C value always has the decimal point right after the first digit, which is the case here. Great!
Example number 2. Rewrite the given decimal number 43,335,000,000,000 in scientific notation. Here is the solution. The starting decimal point is on the far right. We need to move it to the left until we have a decimal number between 1 and 10. Since whole number ang 43,335,000,000,000, ang original location ng decimal point ay nasa dulong right. At para naman magkaroon ng number part or coefficient na greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10, we will move the decimal point towards the left, that is between 4 and 3, to obtain 4.3335. Letter B. Moving the decimal from right to left implies that the power of 10 will have a positive integer. Mula sa original location going to the new location, we will count 13 decimal places to the left. And letter C, the value of the coefficient is C equals 4.3335 and the power of 10 becomes 13. Therefore, the final answer of our scientific notation is just 4.3335 times 10 raised to 13.
Now, we will proceed to examples of how to write decimal numbers into scientific notation for negative power. Example 1, rewrite the given decimal number 0.0005 in scientific notation. Here's the solution. First, we will move the decimal going to the right. The rule a while ago states that when the decimal is moved towards the right, the count for the exponent of base 10 should be negative. Since decimal ang 0.0005, ang original location ng decimal point ay nasa left. At para naman magkaroon ng number part or coefficient na greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10, we will move the decimal point towards the far right that makes 5 a whole number. Next, moving the decimal point to the right should yield a negative exponent for the base 10. Mula sa original location going to the new location, we will count 4 decimal places to the right. The value for coefficient is C is equal to 5 and the power of 10 is negative 4. Our final scientific notation answer should be 5 times 10 raised to negative 4.
Example number 2. Write the given decimal number 0.000000001134 in scientific notation. Here is the solution. For letter A, the given decimal number is less than 1, so we expect to move the decimal point towards the right such that it stops after the first non-zero digit. Since decimal ang ating given, ang original location ng decimal point ay nasa left. At para naman magkaroon ng number part or coefficient na greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10, we will move the decimal point towards the right between 1 and another 1 to obtain 1.134. Letter B. Let's move the decimal point to the right and it should accumulate a negative power of 10. Mula sa original location Going to the new location, we will count 12 decimal places to the right. And lastly, we have a coefficient value of C equals 1.134 and base 10 value of 10 raised to negative 12. This gives us a scientific notation of 1.134 times 10 raised to negative 12. That's it, grade 7. I hope you learned the basics of how to write a decimal number into its scientific notation form.
How about if we convert scientific notation to a standard notation? Let's have example 1. Convert 3.456 times 10 raised to 4 in standard notation. Here's the solution. 3.456 times 10 raised to 4 is the same as 3.456 times 10,000, which is equal to 34,560. Or since you are multiplying a power of 10 positive, just move the decimal point 4 units to the right. Starting here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got the same answer, which is 34,560.
Example number 2. Convert 3.456 times 10 raised to negative 4 in standard notation. Here is the solution. 3.456 times 10 raised to negative 4 is the same as 3.456 times 0.0001, which is equal to 0.000346. Or since you are multiplying a power of 10 negative, just move the decimal point 4 units to the left. Starting here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got the same answer, which is 0.000346.
For the last example, a distance of Saturn to the Sun is about 8.84 times 10 raised to 8 miles. Here's the solution. 8.84 times 10 raised to 8. We will move 8 decimal places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So therefore, we got 884 million miles.
Congratulations! You just finished the first part of this module. You can now answer what's more on page 15, what I have learned on page 16, what I can do on page 17.
That ends our lesson today. We hope you learned something. See you on our next episode, Ka-Acute Angels. Keep safe!